Hi, welcome to Last 60, Best 60. We are in the single digits and I just can't believe that we've gotten this far. Given that I started this in November 1st, thinking, oh my gosh, 60 videos. And midway I was thinking, what was I thinking? And then I actually got really grateful that I got to do this for longer than 60 because I really felt like there was a depth that I was able to reach both in myself and my ability to share from my heart and not just read things or stay on the surface. Although I think I've always shared from my heart, I just got more comfortable with it. And then secondly, being able to share with everyone as the feedback by email or calls or texts where people related to something that I said. So I'm just so grateful for this process. Anyways, so yesterday we did a list called experiences, and it's something that I think is really important for us to think about instead of just oh, what are my goals for the year? It's really about what do you want to experience in life. So today, the list that we'll make is called growth. How do I want to grow? And at some point, when you think about kids, and if you have kids or grandkids or friends' kids, there's just this natural inclination to learn, whether it's reading actual book kind of learning, or how to draw, or how to figure things out, or how to sing, or there's just this natural want to learn to grow. And then we kind of get into our careers, or our kids leave for college, and then we kind of have this, okay, it's time for me. And in many ways, I hope that we're never the same. And whether that's a natural evolution and things just change and we adapt and then we're new people, or for people like me that I love to actually learn things, then we kind of do that growth with velocity. So whatever you're at is totally fine. I'm a learner, that's just my nature. But at any rate, think about the areas that you want to grow, to have the kind of experiences that you wrote about yesterday. What kind of person do I need to evolve into to have those kinds of experiences? But today it's looking at what kind of person do I really need to be? What kind of person do I need to grow into to experience that kind of a lifestyle? So if it's I want to travel 6 months out of the year, well, what kind of job would I need to have? What kind of financial situation would I need to have? And so that quality of growth takes some take some deep awareness, and again, it's not limiting. It's oh, okay, so I want to run a marathon in 5 different countries. Well, if I'm not a runner, I better evolve to run and practice running 5 miles and then 10 miles and develop into that. That's the kind of thing. And sometimes it's not so easy to think about. There's 4 areas that I'd like you to apply this question to. So the first area to think about this question of how do I want to grow is in the area of your fitness and your health. And as I said in that day that I focused on health and wellness, that it's not about the numbers. It's not how much you weigh, it's not how old you are, it's not what your blood pressure is. It's how do you feel? And how do you want to feel to do those experiences that you have? What kind of physical state do you need to be in to live into that experience? And so it's a really it's starting to really look at how am I going to get from East Coast to Portugal? We're getting really specific. We're setting our compass to get to where we need to go. So at the very beginning of Last 60, Best 60, I gave that story. If you are setting out in a sailboat from the East Coast, let's say New York, and you're headed across the Atlantic, the wind will blow you and you can end up in England, France, Africa, Portugal. You can end up in the state of Gibraltar. All of those are possible, but where do you want to go? So that's how specific we're getting. If I have that desire to experience some adventure that you wrote about yesterday, What kind of person do I need to evolve into to get there? And in your intellectual life or in your personal development, like what kind of things do I need to learn to make that happen? So what kind of personal development or professional development do you need to do now in January, February, March, so that by July you're going to be experiencing, or whenever you've set that date to have that experience? And so you start to really let your brain know where you're headed, and so then your brain starts to work in that direction, and then you start talking about it with your friends, and they're like, hey, how's your marathon training going? Like, you start letting people know, and then your community starts to support you to get there. So yeah, it's really like looking at who do I need to be to experience what my soul, my spirit desires. So dig in. Think about this in the area of your health and wellness. So what kind of physical state do you need to be in? Think about it in the area of your personal development and your professional development. Who do I need to be? What do I need to learn? And then think about it in your spiritual life. What is missing? What is interesting in my spiritual life that I can really deepen and grow in? Is it connection to a higher power? Is it time spent in meditation that I'm no longer anxious? Is it having a spiritual community and connecting with like-minded people that I have friends that support me in what I'm doing? So you'll see things start to connect, and I'm really excited about this process. So stay with it. Today, write the list of how you need to grow. Thanks.